Bob Chick back with another installment of The Last Rep. I'm here with the one and only Kevin Levrone. Kev, what's up, buddy?
Hey, Bob. We're 2 weeks out. Yeah, 2 weeks out till showtime.
Yeah, we're there now, man.
Pretty much.
That was probably the fastest 5 months in your life, huh? Guessing, right?
Yeah, my whole entire summer went to back and forth to the gym, back and forth to the gym. That's it.
So how you feeling right about now? I mean, generally speaking, you're a week and a half out of showtime, 2 weeks, till just under 2 weeks until actual stage time. You're usually dragging pretty much and all that, but you haven't been down this road in a while, my friend.
Yeah, it's been quite a while. Sometimes I wonder why. What did I get myself into?
Right.
Because of just the soreness, the recovery. Each and every day you wake up, you feel the aches, you feel the pains, and I don't ever think it goes away. Because if you do have a day off, your day off is you're completely exhausted and you're resting and you're trying to sleep and you're trying to catch up on the sleep that you didn't catch up on that night because that you train legs and your body's absolutely shot. You know how it is, man. And so you find yourself sleeping 2 or 3 hours in the middle of the day, just trying to catch up on sleep at night. I get up in the morning, 5:30, 6 o'clock. I just implemented the cardio, so doing about 45 minutes to an hour fasted cardio. Leaving there, taking my son to school. After that, I go to the gym and train for about 2 hours. I go to Smarter Team Training. That's a training facility that trains athletes, as far as all types of athletes, baseball players, football players, and they do my detailed work, like the flexing and squeeze, just small detailed work.
Sure.
And you find yourself nowadays, Bob, I mean, there's so many different types of equipment, more advanced equipment other than just the barbaric stuff that we used to use. So I'm reaching out, doing that kind of stuff. And then also been going back and doing my hardcore training, the legendary training stuff that we're used to doing. The basic squats, the bent over rows, the heavy T-bar rows, the heavy seated rows, the heavy lat pull downs, all these things, compound movements for the mass. And you know me, man, I always train heavy and I always grow into a show. So for me, a day goes in a matter of hours. I mean, it goes pretty quick.
Well, now here's my question, Ken. Now, equipment, yeah, it's changed obviously over the years, but it's still barbells and dumbbells where we come from, and the diet's pretty much not too much different. So it's pretty much the same. The one thing that is vastly different for you is your mindset. You're a 52-year-old guy now, a veteran of the stage, haven't been on stage in 13 years, but give me the difference in your mindset right now versus 20 years ago on stage.
It's the same because you reach a point in your training where everything becomes familiar with you again. When you go in a gym and you reach a certain point, like now, I can do behind the neck press with 315 for reps, and that's very familiar. Before, I would doubt when I first started about 5 months ago. I mean, I was a little 210 pounds maybe, I was small. Now I'm 240. Well, actually, this morning I weighed 248 raw without any food in my stomach. Tonight I'm about 252. So everything come back familiar. That mindset kicks in. You go back to that war zone mentality. You start eating that fish, rice, and broccoli. Your face start coming down. Things start getting familiar. The atmosphere around you. So everything clicks back into, hey, this is part of who I am. And you start taking your shirt off and seeing things that you really recognize. I think the challenge is getting to that point, knowing how you feel when you get there. You've already felt that before, so it becomes very familiar. Now it's very easy for me to gauge and say, okay, this is what I need to do. I've done it before. I've competed 68 times before in a matter of 10 years. So that's averaging about 8 shows a year. So right now, I'm very much in a comfortable zone, a comfort zone right now. because I pretty much feel like I got control now.
Sure.
I got control here now. But before coming out the gates, you didn't know. I didn't know. I didn't know what I was going to look like. I didn't know how long it was going to take. Nothing. So part of that nervousness in your brain was, you know what? That doubt was there. But I'm in a good place right now, Bob, and I thank God for it. But let me tell you something. What I'm trying to pull off here is it's like a miracle. And I know I've gotten a lot of people, close friends, people that I know, that doubted me. And they have their opinions, because normally someone my age that has taken off for 13 years, and this man said he's going to come back and walk on a Mr. Olympia stage and compete with these guys 15 years younger than him. Are you crazy? What's wrong with you?
Well, it's never been done.
It's never been done.
No,
and
not to this degree.
Also, no, but I also realize that man, let me tell you. I mean, I've been praying a lot. I've been praying for God to keep me healthy. I've been praying for God to just show me the signs for the strength to keep moving forward, because you do get attacked. You get attacked out there from people, doubters, and sometimes if you open your mind up to that, it can make you weak. So for me, I had to dig to a higher power than me, and that was actually God, man. And it really helped me stay focused, but stay grounded, and not believe in, because I'm not doing this because of I want to praise myself and say, hey, I'm greater or I'm better than anybody else. I'm doing it because I feel as though there's an opportunity. I'm healthy, and I just want to show the world and the fans that as long as you believe in yourself, regardless of the outcome, as long as you believe in yourself, you can achieve whatever you want in life. And I'm doing this, man, and I've seen some amazing improvements over this last 5 months. And I want to thank everybody that support me. I want to thank Muscular Development, all you guys, everybody out there. Whether the comments are good or bad, it still fuels fire in me, so to continue to move forward.
So how's it feel to be big again? I mean, how's it feel walking around like you did 13 years ago, 20 years ago? I mean, you've been in, this is about as unfamiliar territory. I mean, everybody knows over the last 13 years you went a different direction. You were doing a lot of different things, singing, your music, acting, all kinds of different things. But clearly you weren't carrying the size you used to. But so how does it feel walking around as the Maryland Muscle Machine again?
I feel powerful. I find myself, it's hard to sit down and in certain chairs, or when I say certain chairs, I go and I watch my son play football. And I got to sit there in that fold-out chair, and the hamstrings are falling asleep. The
good old days, right?
those are memories, man. That it's like, oh man, I'll be glad when this show's over. It's not easy. Bending over, tying your shoes. When you want to run and stuff. Yeah, the little things. You find yourself. I wake up in the morning with a pump all the time. Sometimes like right now, I can't really touch the back of my neck. Those things, I just got kind of used to it after a while. I'm sweating right now.
Yeah, it's funny how all that stuff starts coming back that you haven't really experienced. Well, you haven't really been.
And the biggest challenge, Bob, is sleeping.
Yes.
I sleep on my back. I got to put pillows underneath my arms, okay? This arm falls asleep. This arm falls asleep. Then, if I'm lying in the bed, I have to have pillows underneath my knees because my hamstrings are falling asleep because my legs are straight. The hamstrings got the bone. So you turn to the side. What happens when you go to the side? Your arms, your shoulders start falling asleep. And I'm like, man. And then, so you lay on your stomach and you prop in pillows underneath your stomach, and like this, you're like a mummy, man. So I toss and turn. So you know what I do? I don't even sleep in the bed no more. I just sleep on the floor.
And just to clarify for the people out there, this isn't an age thing. This isn't because you're 52 now doing this as opposed to 42 or 32. This is a bodybuilder thing. I remember all those things you just described back in the day, just sweating while I'm sleeping. The metabolism's going
Yeah.
1,000 miles a minute. You know how it goes. I mean, like I say, this is falling asleep. You go on your side, your shoulder falls asleep. These are bodybuilder things, especially at this level, that you're now rediscovering. And last time we talked, Kev, the last question I asked you was, is this going to be it in terms of will we see you on a stage in Europe? Will we see you on? And you were adamant at that point that the answer was no. I'm doing the Olympia. That's it. There is no comeback per se and all that stuff. Are you still of that opinion, or have you changed your mind, or have you considered doing any other shows?
I haven't. It's open. I mean, I've had some offers. Robin Chang reached out to me. There's possibilities. I mean, of course, I was just thinking about that the other day when I was in the gym, and I'm thinking, you train so hard to only go compete one time.
Yeah,
and it's almost
that's
a
exactly
letdown.
where I was going with that. Yeah.
Yeah, it's almost a letdown to the fans over there who want to see you on stage. The guys that are in Spain at Rafael's show.
Sure.
And they can't come here. It's too expensive. Why not? I mean, so right now that's open. It really is open. I haven't decided if I'm going to go and compete in Spain, but I know my company is going to do that.
You should do a world tour, so to say. You know what I mean? It's a long way to go, Kev, for, like you say, listen, it's the Olympia, and it's great, and it's going to be great, and I'm looking forward to it as much as anybody. But, like I say, that's a long way to go. Plus, you've only really been at this about 6 months, which is a miracle in itself. But I'd love to see what you can do in a year. With just a full year dedication, prep, like you say, all the things you used to do to kind of put your eggs into that basket.
Right.
And obviously things have changed. Listen, you're a businessman now. You've got other priorities. Your son's 10 years old. He's growing up quick. So, clearly the landscape has changed. But I think it would almost be a disservice to yourself to not maybe go out there a few times and kind of see what you got and see where it gets you. But,
yeah, exactly. I mean, I put on some good quality muscle so far, and it would be a shame to just let it go to waste.
Absolutely. Yeah, I mean, that's, like I say, the nice thing is you're not obligated to anything, and clearly, now, does any of that depend on what the results are at the Olympia?
No, I mean, I actually just really love the sport. It's given me my grounded foundation that I've been so used to. Actually, when I stopped bodybuilding, I was kind of felt something was missing. I hate to use the word depressed or whatever, but when you've been doing something so long and it's become a part of your life, and then all of a sudden you just completely stop, Sure. I completely stopped. And I think I was just trying to replace that with business adventures, did some things in acting, to try to fulfill that void. This is who I am. This is what I believe God created me to do. And I tell you, man, I've just been so fortunate already, Bob. I feel like I've already won and came through the finish line with the blaze of glory, because I've had so many people around the world, so many different languages, so many different religions reach out to me, and people saying, Kevin, you really inspired me to train. I'm a 52-year-old guy. I'm a 62-year-old guy. I'm a 48-year-old guy. I've given up. But by you coming back, man, this is really, you're representing us. You're representing old school. You're representing, what this sport was built on, and it just makes me feel good. Like I said, I already feel like I've done so much and accomplished so much, not for me, but for our sport. Our sport it kind of got stale. It kind of got boring. It kind of, the fire kind of went out of it. For some whatever godly reason, but that's kind of like what happened. And I think me making the decision and spending time really trying to, talk to Robin and Jim Maine and everything, and coming back, I mean, it's really lit a fire underneath. Everybody's so excited. And for me to be able to go out there and represent the era of the 90s and almost bring back completely 100% the way I left off that stage, it's pretty exciting, man. So I want to go out and put on a really good show for the fans, represent what bodybuilding, Ben and Joe Weider created this sport to be about. It's about beauty. It's about class, being a class act. And just that's what I want to do, man. So I'm really looking forward to walking out there in Vegas and putting on the best show,
Well, Kev, let me fast forward. Today is Thursday, actually, so we're doing this in pretty much real time. On another Thursday, we're going to be at the press conference. And this is a little bit different. And you've been to some press conferences, obviously, since you've hung them up, back in the old days. And to me, they were as boring can be back then. Everybody had the suits on and all that. Nobody really, got into much of anything. You remember those.
Yeah.
They're obviously much more entertaining these days. A lot of stuff going on. You've seen some of these. How much you intend on lighting that up? You talk about lighting that flame and all that kind of stuff. That torch is going to get lit up real quick on Thursday. And, Phil, I mean, he ain't messing around. And none of these guys are messing around, of course. But you intend on coming out with both guns a-blazing? Or what kind of a Kevin Levrone are we going to see at the press conference this year?
I actually feed off the atmosphere. I'm not one to talk a bunch of trash. I let my physique do the talking. We've kind of always been like that. But if the buttons get pressed, then of course I'm going to defend myself and fire back.
Well,
think about it. I mean,
right.
A lot of people would be like, well, how did Kevin earn a spot here? How come Kevin didn't qualify and we have to go through all this to qualify? And there's so many questions, that people have. What makes him special, and that he can just walk up here on stage and, so all of these things. So, I'm going to get probably asked a lot of questions. I don't want to come off cocky, but I want to come off confident.
Sure.
And, I'm there. I'm not walking on stage to just stand there. I'm walking on stage to actually win the show. So,
absolutely. Listen, I've known you for many years. I know what a competitor you are. For anybody that thinks you're just going out there to wave your hand and say hello, I got news for him. That ain't Kevin Levrone. I mean, you will absolutely be there to, do what you do, man. Listen, that's the only way you know. You don't really know anything different.
Yeah, I mean, that's how I was born and bred into the sport, man. It's the hard work ethic. And you got to think, that came from a guy called Dorian Yates.
Yeah.
Dorian Yates raised the bar. So we had to raise the bar. It was nothing fun. There was nothing fancy about trying to take this guy out. This guy was over there in the coldest place ever in England, training down in the basement, going hardcore. And you just saw those sick black and white photos. And continuously, he just got bigger and bigger and bigger. He didn't communicate. And that's how he got the name The Shadow. And I at 6 years doing battle with this guy, And he wasn't 5'8". He wasn't 230, 245.
No.
Dorian Yates was a man's man, And so you have to go to that place. And I don't want to say a dark place, but as men, we're built as warriors, so doing battle with someone like him, there's that thing that just clicks in your brain at a certain point to where the atmosphere smells and feels like you've been there before. It's almost like smelling blood.
Sure.
So yeah, you got to go there with guns blazing and everything wide open, and that's who I am, man. That's who I am.
Well, I can't wait to see that. And
but Chick,
yes,
got a question for you.
Got a question for me. I like that.
All right.
All right, sir.
Now, when you first heard that I was going to come back and do this, what did you think?
Hey, I thought you were out of your mind. And I'm like, Now, obviously, I see you all the time. We see each other every couple months at a show or, we're at whatnot. So we catch up quite often. But I didn't give it a lot of stock, and I'll tell you why. We've heard this before. This isn't new. You've thrown out some teasers here and there. And for the most part, I knew you were, just kind of throwing some crap out there to have some fun. So I didn't know really whether to take it with any sort of genuine intentions or it's just Kevin messing around. And actually, it wasn't until you came out at Pittsburgh and got on the microphone with Jim Mannion standing right next to you, and you made that exclamation. I said, Kevin is not messing around this time. This is not Kevin playing around with the fans or having a little bit of fun at their expense or, throwing some teasers out there. So that's when I first knew that you were serious. And then, of course, the second thing that popped in my mind is I hope he's got enough time to get that magic back because that wasn't that much. That wasn't a whole lot of time. However,
Right.
As I've said in interviews before, again, we go way back. You are the biggest super responder I've ever known. And like I said, again, months ago, if anybody could do it, if anybody has a shot at doing it, if anybody has the mindset to do it, it's Kevin. And I don't give that to anybody else. I mean, seriously, like, I don't, if Flex Wheeler wanted to come back tomorrow, it ain't going to happen like that. You know, if Sean Ray wanted to come back tomorrow, it's not going to happen like that.
Yeah.
So, I mean, but I was excited. I mean, I think it's a great move for, I think it's a great move for you personally. I love the idea that you're kind of back to old Kevin again. You know, I mean, this is what I knew. I mean, this is what I grew up with.
Did you see that post, that picture I posted up in the gym?
I was just getting to that now. So,
in the gym, in the tank top.
I see two pictures. I saw
the one in the gym in the tank top.
I saw one from you, which is pretty impressive. You're doing the kind of your hands-on most muscular.
What was I doing? Yeah, today at the gym.
Now, I got to ask you this now. So I saw that picture, and it's
decently
impressive.
Go ahead.
The other pictures I saw online of the back poses, are those new? Where did they come from?
You can't pay attention to those.
Well, everybody's paying attention to them but the main question is when were those taken?
You have to pay attention to what I post.
When were those pictures taken?
What ones?
The ones, not the ones that you did with the back poses. You're doing a back double bicep shot in particular. It was posted on a different site. Was purported to be put out today, as of September 1.
I'm not even going to respond to that material.
Well, you can at least tell me if it's fresh or not. Is that a recent picture or not? I mean, I got to be honest.
Bob, you're good. You're good. I'm not responding to that material.
Come on, bro. You're killing me over here, man. Listen,
come on now.
They're two different worlds, okay? Anybody amateur can see. The back shots are okay. I got to be honest. The shot you posted is night and day.
Oh, yeah. Of course.
So there's no way that back pose is recent.
It's supposed to be like that, Bob.
It's supposed to be like that.
Come on, baby.
You're still fun, man.
It's all here.
It's all there. Are you just messing with your competitors? Because listen,
we're playing chess. Don't you know how to play chess?
You know me as well, my friend. You know me as well.
Yeah, I know you.
So
hey, you're the Masters Mr. Olympia champion.
So, years ago, my friend.
You know what's going on.
Hey, listen, we're the only two people from the much talked about 1991 National Championships that will be on the Olympia stage coming up in just a few weeks.
I know, man.
Now, granted, we'll be wearing two different kinds of suits, but
wow, I'm glad you're emceeing the show.
I'm glad you're in the show. Like I said, I'm excited. The fans are excited, and they got all kinds of questions, of course.
I can't wait to get on stage and do my posing routine.
Well, it's going to be cool. Yeah. Unfortunately, there's a little bit of bittersweet to it in that the last time you were on an Olympia stage...
3 minutes?
For you can take as long as you want, bro. They won't cut your music. Don't you worry.
Well, you have 3 minutes, I think, right?
You got it. Like I say, take 5 minutes, bro. Whatever you want to do. It's fine.
And you're going to introduce me.
Absolutely, bro.
And you know what? You know how to say my last name. You know everything about me, so that'll make it even sweeter.
Half Italian,
finally,
half amazing.
I
know. I do my best, bro, but it's a little bittersweet. And at the last time you stepped on Olympia stage, of course, we had Joe Weider. Ben Weider was still with us.
Yeah, I know.
So this will be your first Olympia as a competitor without Joe there. And of course, we all miss Joe, but I'm sure he's smiling down right now. There's nothing more he would have liked than you actually coming back. Has there been any time in this entire prep that you've questioned actually seeing it through or not?
No.
Nothing. Not one time.
No.
So when you said, and let me ask you this here. We talked about Pittsburgh when you came out of Jim Manion's show and made that now famous announcement. Was that what sealed the deal for you? Like, did you have to make that announcement public in order to get those wheels moving and say, okay, listen, now I've committed and I got to go, or was it done before that?
It was done before that.
So you would set your mind that you were absolutely going to get ready for this comeback and all that, and then decided, obviously, to put the announcement out there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's got a lot to do with it, man. I mean, you think you're crazy, but you know what? I feel like God's just something God's telling me to do. you know, and I don't want to sound like keep preaching all the time, but it's the truth. It's the truth. And that's why I haven't doubted it. And that's why I haven't let up off the gas. And that's why I continue to move forward having faith, you know. You know about Samson, right?
Sure.
Samson. I
Victor
think it's
mature.
Judges 16:28. Samson said, you know, he prayed to God. He says, God, you know, just strengthen me one more last time. You know, and he did it. He did it for the greater cause of what people needed at the time. Bob, what we're doing here is we're recreating the past. Okay? Recreating in the 90s, 94, 95, 96, 97, 98, 99, when bodybuilding was at its elite top. We're taking that physique, and it's actually happened. We're taking that physique and putting it on stage in 2 more weeks, looking the same way. That's what we're doing. And I think that's a miracle, you know. And for me to say it's only me and this is what I want and all that, it's not about me. It's about a greater reason, a greater cause. And I think the sport needs it. I think the fans of the sport really are fired up about it. So I have to follow through. I went places, man, and I used to always say, I want to compete, I want to compete, I want to compete. And I always had it in my head, I want to compete, I want to compete, I want to compete. I was in Florida. This guy out of nowhere. I didn't even know who he is. He was a cook back in the kitchen. He says, man, he goes, there's something I got to tell you. I says, what? He goes, this is your time. If you want to do it, you got to do it now. I'm looking, I said, okay. All right. I didn't think much about it. And he came back. He goes, you don't know me. He goes, but I feel like I got to tell you this. You got to go. This is your time. You got to do it now. That was one sign. That was a sign. And we started talking about life, things. He says, you know, there's some things out there that you need to follow through with and that you're not done with. And I was like, wow. It's almost like God was talking to me. And I'm telling you the truth, Bob. Other places I've been, I've gotten signs. And I said, you know what? I'm just going to pray over this. I'm going to pray over it because I haven't worked out in 13 years. How do I know I can even do this? So I just prayed and waited, and the signs just kept coming. The last one I got, I said, you know what? I said, God, I'll do it. My fans want me to do it. The door's open for me to do it. How do I know that I got to walk through this thing? And I said, all right, I'm going to go get a physical. If my physical checks out 100%, then I know I'm good. And I went, got the physical, not only my body, but the bones and everything. Everything was perfect. And I said, you know what? This is a miracle. How can a man compete at that level that I competed on, have absolutely no bone issues, no problems with nothing, everything come back perfect? I used to squat 5, 6, almost 700 pounds, Bob, for 13 years, bench pressing, tore my chest up and everything. And the doctor was like, man, you got a body of a 20-some-year-old guy. And I said, you know what? The only thing that'll stop me is me. I said, so I have to do it. I called Robin, and I said, Robin, I'm ready. I can do this. And at that point, I didn't hesitate anymore. I got my signs. I got the clean bill of health that I needed. And at that point, everything was here. I just needed to have a good support system, people around me that believed in me and said, you know what? We have your back to do this. We believe that you can do this. And that was the hardest thing. That was the hardest thing to find, because when I made the announcement, then that's when the negativity started, you know.
Of course.
You're delusional.
Sure.
You're this, you're that. And I said, you know what? I got to step out of who Kevin Levrone is as a man. I got to go in a spiritual world. And that's what I did. And again, I opened my Bible up, Zechariah 4:6, and I actually wrote the note here. And God said, not by might, not by power, but by my spirit, says the Lord. So I knew at that point in life, Bob, we have a spiritual realm, good, and we have a spiritual realm that's evil. The evil spiritual realm will try to destroy all good. good things for your family, good things for the sport, good things for people around you. Just good things are supposed to happen. That's what the evil spiritual people will try to do. They'll just try to destroy you. That's what I was dealing with. And I was trying to deal with it through my emotions, dealing with Kevin. But I said, you know what, God, if you want me to do this, you got to take me out of my old train of thought of Kevin. And you gotta just put me in that place of solitude spiritually, that I can be strong to stay away from all the negativity and rely on you to get this done. And I said, I'm going to go to the gym. I'm going to do the work, but I need you to do the miracles. And I just started seeing my body transform. And it wasn't easy. I was getting slandered. I was getting beat as I would post things. But now, guess what? All the haters are silent. They've shut up. They've seen the miracles. And I can say I went from 206 pounds to 252 pounds right now, lean, probably about 4% body fat, doing the behind the neck press for 315 reps, repping out 405 on the bench, repping out inclines, squatting heavy, doing everything that I used to do 20 years ago, 13 years ago, 14 years ago. So, yeah, this is a miracle, and it's not about me. So I'm going to represent, go out there and follow and see what the end result will be, whether win, lose, or draw. I already feel like a winner because I've already impacted so many people around the world that say, hey, you know what? This sport's healthy. Look at this 52-year-old guy. You know, he's not just getting started. He's been in the sport. I've been in sport now for almost 30 years.
Yeah.
Look at me. I mean, I look younger now like when I did 13, 14 years ago. As long as you eat, sleep, train, you know what? This is a healthy sport. So I just want to go out there and represent what we were born and raised to do and the greatness of bodybuilding, what Ben and Joe Weider laid this sport down to do, and bring back the, what is it? Mass with class, baby.
There we go. I like to see some of those old catchphrases back, is what I like to see. All right, Kev, so I'm going to fast forward us. We're at the prejudging. It's Friday night. We're at the Orleans Arena. It's a packed house, 10,000 strong. Of course, 9,000 of them are there to see Kevin Levrone and his comeback. Who is in the first call-out? Give me, other than yourself, give me the other 4 guys that Steve Weinberger calls out onto that stage that are standing next to you.
Dexter Jackson, Phil Heath, Sean Roden, Romney. I think big Romney.
Big Romney, oh yeah.
Yeah. There you go. That's 4 right there.
That's a pretty good call out. So, and I'm sure you've been keeping in tune. I saw some guest posing footage of Dexter. Whatever fountain of youth you have, you certainly stole from him, because I tell you what, he's at 47. He looks great. Phil is Phil, obviously. You know, Big Rami, we'll see if he reaches his potential. Sean Roden, of course, in the mix. We haven't even mentioned names like Ruli Winkler, names like Victor Martinez.
Yeah. Can I ask you a question about Rolly?
Sure.
How long has Rolly been competing? Because it seems like he's been competing a long time.
Good question. I don't have it on me right now, but he's probably been around 6 or 7 years now, I would guess, right?
He has?
Yeah, sure.
What show did he win to turn pro, Bob?
Well, he is from Curacao, which is in middle of nowhere. So
yeah.
I'm guessing that he would have won his country's thing, or the World Championships. You know how that goes in Europe, so it's a little different route than what we have.
Yeah.
But, you know, he's made great progress. And then you got all the new guys. You got Steve Kukla. You got Dallas McCarver. You got Nathan Diasha, who looks great. Jocelyn Arowitz from Australia. So you seem to have the second coming. So it looks like you're going to catch kind of a perfect blend of the next generation.
Yeah.
And some of the old guard. I mean, Victor, you've competed with, and Dexter, and some of these guys. You know, Phil now is in his mid-30s and a veteran, obviously. Trying for number 6, and I know you're going to do everything
what
you
is
can.
Phil? Phil's like what, 36?
I'm going to guess 36, 35, 36 now. Yeah.
Yeah. When I was Phil's age, I was done.
That's right.
I was 2000 and what? Hey, yeah, 2000. Yeah, 2003.
Do you ever look back at when you hung him up and wished you would have stayed longer, or was that a decision you were just good with at that time, or like do you miss that hey, maybe I should have hung around another 3-4 years, or?
Oh, Um, I've gotten second 4 times at the Mr. Olympia. That was enough beating myself up.
Yeah, right.
You know what it feels like to stand there and you really feel like you should have won something at least 4 times. I mean, come on, man. You win everything else in the world, and here I am again. In second place, Kevin Levrone. Second place, Kevin. Second place.
Right.
Like, man, what is it? How come you just can't get over that hump? So 2002 was the last time I got second. I came home, started training, pulled back on my training a little bit. I was like, well, what's the point of training 100%? They're going to give it.
Right.
Dorian just won, 6? Now
Right.
Ronnie's ranking them up at the same time. And kind of takes the wind out of your sails. But I tell you, I tore my tricep 6 weeks before the 2000.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah, you can see.
I don't think
People
I
don't
knew
know
that.
that.
No, I didn't know that.
A lot of people don't know it. I tore my tricep doing lat pull downs 6 weeks before the 2003 Mr. Olympia. So I was unable to squat with my hands back like this. I was unable to bench. I was unable to do a lot of things. And of course, people say, wow, Kevin Levrone's legs suffered or he looked like this or whatever. But yeah, I mean, hell, you tear your tricep 6 weeks before a show. I still went and competed. But that was the cause of it and everything. And I think at that point when I had that injury, I went and I did the show of strength, and I ended up getting third. And Dexter beat me at that show. And I said, you know what? I'm kind of done.
Sure.
So I walked away. I just walked away,
Well, nice that you had no regrets about that. You were good with it, but that was then and this is now, Kev. And like I say, we are 2 weeks away. Hard to believe, but man, this summer has absolutely flown in terms of time, and I'm sure it's been even faster for you. Is there a time, are you going to be good with where you're at physique-wise at the Olympia? Is it something that you wish you had an extra, hey man, if I had an extra 6 months, man, I could really show them? Or like, where are you going to be at in terms of, we always use these percentages, but will we see a 95% Kevin Levrone? Where do you think you're going to be?
I'm going to have body parts better than what I had. I'm going to be better than the last time I was on that Mr. Olympia stage, of course. But I'm going to have better body parts. I'm going to have way better body parts. I'm not going to sit here and say, well, I'm this and that or whatever. I feel good about where I'm at right now. More time. Really right now, I just feel like I just want to go forward and get the show over with.
Sure.
I couldn't imagine if the show was another 2 or 3 months away from now. So I'm about ready to just go ahead out there and do it, man. I'm looking forward to it. And I just want to get on stage and perform. Where I'm at mentally is 100%. I'm ready to rock and roll. Physically, I like where I'm at. I still have some work that I want to do, still have some detailed work and some things I want to carve out. You wake up each and every day and you think, okay, well, maybe I want to carve this out. Maybe I should do this or maybe I shouldn't do this. So for me, I'm still running that fine rope of mass with deep cuts and shreds. So I'm trying to figure out how to mix and match the both, because it is a different era that I'm competing in. When I competed the Night of Champions, I was 226, completely shredded to the bone. I got second in the Mr. Olympia against Yates in Helsinki, Finland. I was about 225. You can't walk on stage right now at my height at 225 and get second in Olympia. It's just not going to happen. So things have changed. and
for the record, you were not 5'7".
No, I'm not 5'7". Everybody, and I'm 5'10". People out there who's actually listening, and my competitive weight has been anywhere when I first turned pro, 226 at the Mr. Olympia to 257 at the Arnold Classic against Flex Wheeler. So I've always kind of growed up depending on who I was up against and what I needed to do to come out there and blaze it on stage. So right now, Bob, I'm trying to decide what package for today's era with these guys. Of course, I'm not going to be the biggest guy on stage. Guys are going to have bigger legs than me. Guys are going to have bigger arms than me and everything. But I will be, I'm going to say, it's going to be hard to beat my conditioning. I can tell you that. The feathers, the rips, the thin skin, Going to be hard to beat the presentation. And I can honestly say, with my muscle bellies and my shape, my waist, from me not training for 13 years, my waist is like this. My waist has actually gotten smaller because I'm not in the gym lifting heavy weight. So I've noticed that my waist has gotten real tiny. And that's an illusion. Bodybuilding is an illusion. So I think the overall racehorse looking package that I'm going to bring is that illusion of the tiny waist, small joints, the big 4-round muscle bellies on my frame. And I think that's right there is what's going to carry me over standing next to these guys, because a lot of these guys some of them look like football players that turned into bodybuilders. You know, they have bigger feet now. They have bigger knees. They have bigger, thick necks. Their heads are big. You know, their faces are full. You know, honestly.
Right. No, it's true. It's a different
not
era,
saying it's
right?
bad, but it's a different look. So that look of that sleek, you know, stallion, racehorse, you know, look, right? What is it going to look like next to these guys? That's going to be the most exciting thing ever. And that's what I'm looking forward to. You know, I can't wait. You know, it's going to be nice. You know, and again, you know, I'm going to look over this way. I'm going to look over this way. It's not going to be Ronnie Coleman, who's 280 or 265 right. or 270, you know, looking like a silverback gorilla. Or I'm going to turn this way, and it's not going to be, you know, Dorian Yates. You know, I'm actually going to be looking down a little bit at these guys. So I'm looking forward to it, man. So that's yeah, my confidence level is up, and I'm going to bring it to them.
Well, Kev, you mentioned that racehorse, and whether you're bet on Kevin Levrone to win, place, or show, I'll guarantee
this, right? You see them coming down?
I see some cheekbones coming.
Hey, when was the last time you seen that on the Mr. Olympia stage?
Oh, that's been some time right there, man. We haven't seen anybody sucked in really in some years. So I see that game face coming.
Tell me.
It's been a while, man. You gotta go back some years on that one. But yeah, you're seeing fuller faces, and like I say, the game is definitely different, Kev. Like you say, it's a different game.
Yeah.
Whether you like it, don't like it, anywhere in between. I know one thing. The fans love the idea that you're coming back, bro. We love it at the Olympia. I can't wait to get you in that hot seat at the press conference and get some fireworks going. We are going to light that place up, bro. And, oh, yeah, you know me. I got a few questions for you.
Yeah, I know. Before we go, Bob, I just want to say thank you. Thanks to Muscular Development for your support. So many, all the fans out there, I'm doing this for you guys. And the competitors out there as well. You know, guys, let's just go out there in Vegas in 2 more weeks, give these guys what they came to see, and light the place up. And I don't have anything against any of these guys, and I just want to go out there and have some fun. And let's rock and roll. Let's put on a show.
All right, Kev. Well said, my friend. I'll see you in Las Vegas in just under 2 weeks now. Best of luck to you. Be healthy. Be on stage, and everybody, be in tune, man. Kevin Levrone making history at the 2016 Mr. Olympia.